Hi everyone, my name is Shelley and I'm a success and mindset coach. And I just thought I'd pop on here and say hi, introduce myself, and let you know why I became a coach, and just also give you a little bit of information about my background and my journey to where I am today. So I'm 52 years old, I'm a mother of three, and I live in Merewether in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. So back in 1985, I left school to become a hairdresser. I wanted to be a hairdresser from the age of 5, and it was my ultimate dream. I was going to own my own salon, I was going to have a chain of salons, and it was pretty much that's what I was going to do. There was no doubt about it, there was nothing else for me. So I left school because I had a job in a hairdressing salon, and 4 months later, that was the end of it. And I thought, wow, okay. I'd started TAFE. I continued going to TAFE. I actually left this first salon that I started in. It just wasn't a salon for me. It just did not feel right. I did not enjoy it. And I thought, wow, this is just something that, I had longed for. And it just didn't make me feel good. Anyway, thinking I might go and get another job somewhere else, everyone had their own first year apprentices. So I just went, okay, I'll wait another year and come back next year. But in the meantime, what I actually did was I did something that I actually never wanted to do. I learnt how to type and I went to a secretarial school. So I did that. I breezed through it. It took me about 8 months to complete. And at the end of it, I ended up getting a job at Westpac. So went into the city, ended up working there for a couple of years. And look, it was fine. It didn't float my boat, but it paid more money than actually hairdressing. And I did enjoy it. So I went on to a couple of other different jobs, working in an insurance broking company, a market research company, and a big retail chain around Australia. So I finished up there in 1997. And the reason why I finished was because in October 1996, I got married, and September 1997, I had my first child. So when she was 4 months old, we moved 2.5 hours north of Sydney to a very small coastal town. And that was through my husband's work at the time. He was an arborist and he was working for a big company pretty much up and down the east coast of Australia. And so we moved up there, and I was pretty much a full-time mum, and I loved it. Meeting some interesting people in a small town. Big city girl, going to a small town was interesting in itself, but that's okay, we managed through. So 2 years later, I had my second child, and just before I had my second child, about a week before actually, we started our own business. And it was a very, very quick decision, but it was great. Absolutely loved it. I instigated that challenge for us, and loved every minute of it. So with 2 kids, I was just answering the phone and scheduling everything in and doing all the stuff on the side, the banking and the accounting work and all that sort of stuff. And then my husband was out doing all the tree work. So we did that for quite some time, and what I thought was going quite well, it wasn't his cup of tea. So he was fine with doing the tree work. It was more so that he just didn't like having his own business. It was, you're either a business person or you're not. So we gave a good crack, and just through the trials and tribulations of life, we ended up separating. And through the property settlement and what have you, I ended up with the business. Now, that was a massive challenge in itself. I had no idea how to quote. I really had no idea about trees. I knew the difference between a rose bush and a gum tree. And realistically, that was about all I knew about trees. So the first month, I lost $35,000, and I looked at the bank account and I thought, well, Shelley, if you don't pull your socks up and get some jobs happening here that you're going to make some money on, you may as well just give it all up. So I had to learn about this industry that I had no idea about, and 2 young kids and juggling 2 house mortgages and things like that, it was a bit of a challenge. So I ended up selling my house, and it was a house that I had actually renovated myself. So I was very emotionally attached to this house, and it was a massive decision to get rid of it, but it was what was going to get me out of debt. So I sold it and moved into Newcastle. So started a new relationship and traveled back up to the to where I was actually doing my work pretty much every day to do some quotes and what have you. So the challenge of understanding an industry I had no passion for, understanding an industry that was male dominated, understanding how trees were to be dismantled and pruned, and understanding the pricing behind these to be able to then become competitive with other people in the industry without looking like a complete and utter goose. So there was no textbooks. There was no one guiding me. There was no one beside me. It was just me and having to either sink or swim. So I did lose the plot for about a week, and I just could not get out of bed. Everything had just defeated me. I just felt like I was just wanted to just like sink into the bed and never come out again. But I had a phone call, and it was from a guy that wanted to try and help me. And he wanted to buy my equipment so that I didn't have to deal with things anymore. And I thought, oh, this is very interesting, isn't it? He just wants me out of the way so that there's more market share for what I would probably be creating within my business. But what he actually did was he did me a favor. He gave me that challenge that I needed to step up and get into life again. That whole week that I was not moving, I actually got asked to look at a fairly large contract, and I just couldn't even do that. So I gave it to someone else. I gave it away, which is fine because he actually still now has it, and he was a really nice guy anyway. So after that phone call, it pretty much gave me the grunt and the grit and the challenge and the determination to sort of go, Shelley, you are so much better than this. You can rise to the occasion. You can do this. You can do anything you set your mind to. And don't let people bully you, or don't be put down by what people are saying or what people are thinking, or, you know, not to be affected by that sort of thing. So it was head down, bum up. I pretty much didn't speak to many people for a long time. I kept to myself. I didn't want to know any other tree companies. And it was just one day at a time. And I worked out what I had to do. I had to figure it out. Otherwise, what else was I going to do? So after, 7 or so, 8 years, it was just part of who I was. And there was no challenge for me because I was already quoting multiple jobs, massive jobs, crane jobs, excavation jobs, slashing jobs, land clearing jobs. I was already doing all that sort of stuff, and I wasn't being challenged enough. So I decided to create some kids' characters based around my tree company. And that was the creative energy that I needed to keep going as well. If I'm not creating or thinking, I get bored. And so I wrote 5 books, created a kids website with a whole heap of educational information for them and some activities and things like that. And that's actually still around. It hasn't gone anywhere, but it's still there in the sideline. And I think for me, that was more so me needing to be creative and do things that just helped me get through what I was actually dealing with in a fun way, instead of in a way that I wasn't really being challenged or really enjoying it. So I created those. I also then, throughout that time, I decided to get some business coaching, and I decided to get some life coaching. So one of the times when I was being life coached, I loved it so much that I started writing a program that gave people confidence. And so I trialed it out on probably, I don't know, a dozen people, and the results that they were getting and how I was feeling creating change within these people and giving them confidence made me just realize that I actually really love coaching. So I decided to become a certified life coach. And throughout that time as well, I was Googling lots of things and came across a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. Now, he has passed on now, but he is a Canadian personal development guru, and he works on the law of attraction, but also so many other techniques. And I wanted to get to know more of what he was doing, so I decided to do his masterclass. And that was a 6-month program where I had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning once a week and go through his program. And I just wanted to know more. I wanted to know what he thought. I wanted to know what he did, how he changed his life, how he went from someone that earned $4,000 a year but was in debt for $6,000 back in 1960 to a year later earning $175,000, and then a few years later earning over $1 million a year. And I just had this desire to understand what he taught. And throughout that program, I just loved it so much that I decided to become a PGI consultant. So he has this program called Thinking into Results that I facilitate with my coaching. And honestly, I cannot express to people how powerful this program is and how it's changed my life and enabled me to understand who I am as a person, why I don't do things, why I might not achieve things, why I might not pursue things in terms of when I've started something, continue it, but also to understanding me in terms of my self-image, what's holding me back. And these are all sorts of things that I actually teach in my coaching. So that's actually the reason why I became a coach, was because I had been coached. I love the thought of being coached. I actually have a coach now. But also I love inspiring people. So if you're looking for someone to give you strength because you're either going through a divorce, or you have a small business, or you're just stuck somewhere and you're needing some guidance and some nurture and some strength from somebody, I have loads of it. I see so many people through divorces. People come to me, or I attract people because I lend my strength to people. I love coaching people through business. I love giving people things to think about and ideas to think about. And honestly, coaching is not for everybody, but coaching is for everybody, if you can understand that. Just getting those ideas and those being stretched in a way that you never thought you could be stretched. And yeah, it's just one of those passionate things I'm very passionate about. So I want to spend the rest of my life coaching people. I will spend the rest of my life being coached. I still have my tree company, of which I work in as well, and I have an amazing crew of people. And yeah, so I just wanted to come on and have this little bit of a video for you so that you could see who I was understand what I've done in my life, and understand why I am here to help you and to guide you and inspire you and be inspired by you, and have a community come around you that can help you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So you can change your life in any area, your relationships, your work, money. If you want to earn 10 times more than what you're earning, that's very achievable. It's not going to happen overnight, but the thing is, you can achieve it if you want to. You do have to put the work in, and you do have to put the effort in, and you do need to understand all these techniques. But when you understand it, life is going to be whatever you choose it to be. So if you want any more information or know about my coaching, please contact me. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, or LinkedIn. And yeah, I would love to hear from you and have a chat. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy some of my videos, and I hope you get some great insight into what I do. And we will be talking again soon. Take care. Bye for now.